everybody. Welcome to this video. I'm Erin Kurt from theelegantlife.com, and we are continuing on with our series as to how you can elegantly attain and maintain your ideal body without having to deprive yourself, without having to go on diets and count things. Let me share all my secrets with you, because the relationship that you should have with your body is one of reverence, of gratitude, and one of pleasure. So if that sounds good to you, then come along on this journey with us. I will link the other 3 videos that go in this series below so that you can catch up if this is the first time that you are joining us on this journey. All right, today I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt after you've eaten like bloated or full, achy, gassy? And have you also felt something that I used to really experience? I used to feel within about 30 minutes of me eating, my energy level go way down, and all I wanted to do was go have a nap. That used to happen to me constantly. You know, I was all vibrant and excited in the morning. I was gonna have a really nice breakfast with my family, and as soon as I ate that, I wanted to go back to bed. So what was that about? So I've overcome all that, and I'm going to share in today's post how I overcame that, how I am left after a meal with a flat tummy, with a feeling of peace and satisfaction and clarity within my body, and happiness and energy and vitality. So, are you ready? Okay, come on along on this journey. So, one of the first things that happened to me was I was experiencing all these things that just did not feel right. And if you watch the other videos, I had like 50 pounds to lose from my last pregnancy. And over time, you know, I tried all the diets and the delivery foods and all that kind of stuff. But what happened was I started to learn how to manifest. And I had, like I've talked about, this spiritual experience, and things started to piece together for me. And I started to manifest things like money, clients, experiences, moves, easy moves to different countries, finding my perfect house, finding my perfect parking spots, just anything that my soul desired, I was able to manifest, okay? Now, how did I translate that into having weight melt off of me? Well, I thought to myself one day, look, how do I want to feel? Because I am so done. I am so done with counting points and making food my obsession. Making food something that's the only thing in my mind, and I'm constantly thinking about it. So there was no peace. So I decided, how do I want to feel? Like, how do I want to go through my life? And I said to myself, okay, what do I usually do when I'm manifesting other things? I set an intention, and I get a very clear intention. And I wanted to feel full of energy, full of vitality. I wanted to feel a sense of clear energy, like clarity of mind and head, because I don't know about you ladies, but after you have kids, you just kind of walk around like this. Why was I here? What was I going to do? And I was tired of that. I wanted to feel light. That was a word that kept coming in. Light, not just also in my body frame, but I wanted to feel light in my energy. I felt too heavy for some reason. And then what I did, I'm going to surrender, and I'm going to wait for divine inspiration to come to me as to how this is all going to happen, because I have no idea. Lord knows I've tried. I'm not going to do it the way everybody else says to do it anymore. So what I did was allow the inspiration to come, and come it did. First, what I noticed, what happened to me just subtly, was that my body stopped wanting to eat certain foods. Just stopped. And I almost began feeling repulsed by something that I had just ate maybe the week previously. My body did not want it. And so I listened when I asked my body, what do you want to eat? And it told me what it wanted to eat, how much it wanted to eat, and it also said what it absolutely did not want. And I stopped eating those things. Then the weight started to come off and I started to feel light. Energetically, I felt better as well. I could feel this sense of energy. Then a lot of information started coming my way about high vibration foods. And when I started consuming more of these high vibration foods, I started to feel different. And like I said, the weight melted off. So I want to take you over to my kitchen now, because I'm sure you're wondering, what are some of these high vibration foods? And afterwards, I'm going to explain a little bit more about what I mean about high vibration foods. So I'm going to stop there, take you over to my kitchen, and then we'll meet back here. All right, everybody, welcome to my morning ritual. My first thing that my husband and I support each other in is we each slice the lemon, and half of a lemon goes into a cup. And you fill it up with water and you sip on that while you put your makeup on. Then after that, I gotta keep some surprises, right? I'm gonna keep that as a surprise because there is gonna be an opportunity for you to learn even more about the whole elegant women and melting weight off of you and keeping it off for good. So I'll save that for that. But here's one of my options. Now, as you can see, I'm going to zoom into this. This is whole grain oatmeal. It's not the instant. It is the whole grain. And that is what you want to use when you're making your oatmeal. Everything is still intact. All of the vitamins, all of the minerals, all of the fiber, everything. And so I make that with a plant-based milk. And there are many reasons why I choose that, but for me, dairy lowers my energy system. I feel it, and I get some bloating after those things, and it just doesn't make me feel energetically good. So I use normally coconut milk, sometimes almond milk. Okay? Here's option number 2. Now, this is something, chia seed, that I could literally write a whole post about. And actually in that program that I've been talking about, that you're going to have the opportunity to engage in with me, I'm going to really educate you on this beauty of a seed. It is called chia seed. This little bundle of joy has so much in it you can't even imagine. I told my kids the other day, because I put this in their cereal as well, and they're like, what are these black dots? And I said, look, if you could be stranded on an island and you could only have one food, I would say, let it be the chia seed. That is a delivery. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get that for you. Hang on. Okay, I'm back, and I will actually share that delivery with you. But anyway, this chia seed is something that you can make into anything. You can put it into your cereal that you have in the morning. You can put it into your oats that you have. I always add chia seed to my oats. You can make a really nice pudding. Do this. So I put some chia seeds in some, again, coconut milk. I add a little bit of vanilla. I add a little bit of stevia. And then depending on my mood, sometimes I'll add ginger or I'll make it a chocolate one. So in the morning, I have this lovely thick pudding. And then I slice bananas, I put different kinds of things in there, and it is awesome. It will keep you till literally lunch. Okay. Now the next one is, I don't have the bread here because I'm out of bread, but I usually use a gluten-free type bread. I add Marmite. I have no idea why I'm loving that, probably because of the nice B vitamins in there. And then I mash avocado. And sometimes I have my toast and I'm feeling like my body's telling me I would like a nut butter. So I adore cashew butter. You can see I buy it in the large tubs because I do a lot of baking with that. Well, it's not baking actually, it's my le goûter. Le goûter in the afternoon snack is very French. And I often use cashew butter as a part of one of those. So that is yours for that. So those are some of my breakfast options. Okay, I promised to show you what that delivery was. Here it is. All right, so this is from a company here in Dubai. Funny enough, started by a Canadian from Vancouver, so yay Canadians. It is called the Salad Jar, and they have an app where you can just go on there. They have tons of different options for salads, and you choose which one. You can have this size, which is the regular, and then they have a large size, and they deliver it to your house that day. How simple is that? So this is in Dubai. Look, elegant women make a choice as to how they do things. For me, at this stage in my life, I am able to make choices where I can have things delivered to my house and I don't have to make them. But look, I have made my things up until now. I have created lovely salads with very similar ingredients. I mean, you cook up some quinoa, for example, and you have that in your fridge for the whole week and you put it into your salad. You have a can of chickpeas that you just dump in there. You've got some green beans, some cucumbers you chop up, some red peppers, tomatoes, raisins. I mean, this is not, we got some feta cheese in there. Look, it doesn't take long to do this. Okay, then after my beautiful salad I've had, I usually enjoy a cup of tea with it. I love my green tea that I have, but I also sometimes ask myself, what kind of tea do you feel like? And sometimes I'll feel like a peppermint tea. Sometimes I'll feel like a chai tea. And I have my dark green and black chocolate. I will have that, or I will have a beautiful truffle or two. You can get lovely vegan ones from Belgium. Oh my goodness. So they're around. This is the French way to beautify and have pleasure when you enjoy your food. Okay, I promised to show you un goûter that I really enjoy. This is one that is très français because the French love apéritif, which is like a little appetizer before they even start the meal. And I kind of took that to be my little goûter that I love, because if you look here, I mean, nuts are high vibe foods. They've got good fats, they've got protein, they've got carbs, they're just a complete little food. So I have pecans, I adore macadamia nuts, I adore cashews. There's some raisins in here for that little bit of sweetness. There's a couple of peanuts, and then my favorite, I don't know about you, but wasabi peas. Then what I do is I like to have sometimes a tea with it. I love these yogi teas. They have beautiful inspirational messages on the tea bag. So I just really love those. And of course I serve it in my beautiful cup. Beautiful, beautiful nuts. That's just one of the goûter that I enjoy. Okay, so this is a dinner option. Now, notice that I love things that are totally simple and stress-free, but that give me optimal high vibe energy, okay? My choices are always based on how do I want to feel. I want to feel high vibe. Okay, so what makes me feel high vibe? Okay, I really want to talk about this. Pastas. For me, it is not about being on any bandwagon or any ideal about what is good, what isn't good. Look, for me, I listen to how I feel. When I eat anything that is store-bought pasta, that is from wheat, particularly just white wheat flour, that does not leave me feeling high vibe. It doesn't. I feel a bit low energy after, and again, there are times when I can feel bloated. Now, there are so many gluten-free options that are like buckwheat. It is amazing. You can also get brown rice pasta. Those are my favorites. Brown rice, buckwheat, spelt. Spelt is amazing. I feel great after I eat those. So for this one, I just had these around and that's why I'm showing you. But go to any store now. They're really getting these things in, or even order from Amazon, okay? Now, how do we make a simple meal? What I do is I cook up this pasta. At the end, I mix in some pesto. Put that in there. Then I buy this. Now, personally, for me, my body does not want chicken. Last year, I think it was, my body completely and utterly became repulsed by chicken, and it did not want really any meat. Fish, yes, but these things, no. Now, my family, they feel good on this and they like it. So what I do is I get cage-free, no hormones added, based in New Zealand, really quality cooked chicken already, or I will just cook up some chicken by myself and cut it up into cubes and pop it in here. This is a simple, quick, literally 15-minute meal. I have salad that I'm going to share with it, and boom, voila, a beautiful green type high vibe meal. And welcome back. So if you notice something about the foods that I was showing you, there's something that is in common with all of them. They are all high vibe foods. And why are they high vibe? Because they are clean. They are clean, and their energies are high because they are so clean. Now, what do I mean by that? As you know, everything is energy. Now, you can measure the energy coming off of something. And you could literally, there's a device you can take around and you can measure the energy that's coming out. You could measure my energy coming out. You could measure the frequency of that chair. You could measure the frequency of a plant. Foods are definitely made of energy, okay? And they have a frequency in them, which is measurable. If you go to fresh foods like fresh fruits and vegetables, high frequency. If you go to things like dried herbs, high frequency. Fresh herbs, high frequency. If you go to things like whole grains and different seeds and nuts, higher frequencies. If you try to measure something that comes from a can or that is highly processed and a lot of additives and a lot of chemicals, and you usually find it in a box, zero. It's not even measurable. It might be like 0.12, but it's not even measurable. Now this got me to thinking, if my goal as to how I wanted to feel is to feel full of energy and vitality, if I'm eating a lot of baked, processed, or even canned foods, that can't equal energy. It just can't. If I'm ingesting these foods that have low frequency, how do I expect to feel? And that's what I want you to really get to understand from this. As an elegant woman, you have a choice about every food you purchase, every food you put into your shopping cart, every food you bring home, every food you ask for at a restaurant, everything. Because look, I want to raise my vibration so that I am vibrating a very high frequency. The higher I vibrate, the more in tune I am with divine energy, love energy, happiness, joy energy. So if I'm eating foods that are in alignment with that, I am going to raise up to be that. If I'm eating things with artificial sugars, chemicals, additives, hormones, a lot of dead things, like, sorry to say, but a lot of meats that are really, really cooked, low energy in those things, okay? The vitality is taken out of them. So you have a huge choice to make when you purchase your foods. What I want you to do, I want you to keep asking yourself, what would you like to eat? But before that, come up with the intention of how you want to feel, and keep enjoying your food as enjoyably as you can. Beautify it, Frenchify it. If I could make one last note to you, some of you may be saying, well, Erin, last video you said we could absolutely eat anything and still be slim. Yes, that is true. Look, we are not about deprivation. If my soul tells me that it wants a croissant, it's not the most high vibe food, but because I'm eating it with joy and pleasure, and I do a little trick that I'll share with you another time, that raises that croissant up to a vibration that is a match for how I want to feel. So keep with this program. I am not negating anything now by sharing with you that fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains and seeds and nuts and lentils and beans and this kind of thing is good for you. It doesn't discount it. It's simply allowing you to make some conscious choices as an elegant woman, but still with full ultimate permission to enjoy the chocolates, the cakes, the croissant, the whatever you desire. Okay? All right, we will see you next week for the very last installment. This is the trick. If you think that you need to exercise to lose weight, come on down to the next video. We'll see you next week. And again, as I always say, subscribe to this channel because it alerts you when the next video is on. And please like and share it with any woman you love. It is time we get off the dieting bandwagon. On that note, I'll talk to you next week. Bye.